out there. Roger
Impressive.
Jehan going great on the other side, though. Quentin first to the second side.
Look at
Roger about 3 drivers behind Quentin as he moves around to the second side of his block. Now, Roger did a little bit of extra work on a narrower cut on the first side. He's going wider on the second side here. Quentin looking like he's getting close to the edit on this one as he's coming through that center part of the block with a narrower front side cut. Roger is almost there. You can see it. He split it in 39.63. Quentin in a 40.15, taking a personal best.
That's quite a start into this competition.
Very, very nice start.
Of course, as always, we have to wait what our judges have to say.
Okay. Both guys are good.
So our judge on stage today, Radu Kasaku, gives us the thumbs up for both gentlemen. Really the only thing that can happen here in this situation as far as disqualifications is an early start on the block or cutting the footholds. You'll notice that these blocks have footholds that the guys are standing on, and if you cut into the foothold, that qualifies as a disqualification. So they have to be really aware of that. And here you can see those black lines what they've marked on the block with a grease marker to help them guide their drivers into the block. So you can see here on Quentin's side some really nice hits into the block, and there's Roger still relevant and still hammering hard at 58 years of age. He's looking great out there, and he is definitely one of those guys we keep a close eye on to be among the finalists here today.
That's some great pictures that were getting delivered. you can hear the crowd going wild as well. I wonder who they support in the second heat between Florian Clos and Corentin Gaudin.
I'm going to say Corentin Gaudin has a small fan club here right next to our studio location.
I still can't hear you because that siren was so loud in my ear.
Okay.
But that's great. I mean, look at that.
Ready.
The amount of people enjoying the Championnat de France here in Sarrebourg.
Oh, that was a quick start by Corentin Gaudin. He got right into it. Florian Clos looking very good on his first side as well. You can see that's a bit of an open face. Some salad left in there for Corentin as he switches over to the second side ahead of Florian Clos. Florian Clos working a bit deeper on that first side to try and do less work on that front side as he now switches over to the front side of the block. Let's see if that works as his favor as he opens up that front side. And Gaudin is through in 30.91, and he is happy about dropping a personal best on this one. Great job by Corentin Gaudin, and Florian Clos also with a 39.72 personal best. So this is something we like to see. We always say this, and it's repetitive, I know, but when these guys are dropping personal best, that means that there's improvement, and this is something that we really enjoy watching.
Yeah, you could see the reaction now. It's brilliant. Oh, fantastic starts.
Yeah, and Corentin, as he walked by the studio earlier on, he kind of looked in and gave us that, you know, fist
I'm ready.
He says he's ready. So he's going to be a guy that we're going to be keeping a close eye on here today as well.
Oh, we definitely should. And like you said, to see a personal best on the screen, you know, that it gives you a special shine to the competition that these athletes keep improving and improving. And we saw that with the rookies as well earlier this day. So.
Yeah, I mean, he came out of the rookie ranks where he got 5th place. He's now 30 years old, and he's been busy in the sport and maintaining his fitness level. So it could be interesting to see how Corentin Gaudin works today during the competition. He's obviously highly motivated. He's fit. So keep an eye on him today and see if he can.
By the way, also one of these judges.
An axeman's gathering.
Look at this, Cormac is playing a great game of catch-up. Oh my God! Matthew Cormac gets the world record.
Beautiful clip here. 40 years of Steel Timber Sports, and seeing that history, I mean, yeah, it gives you a bit of a goosebump.
The original extreme sport, right?
Absolutely. One person I also want to mention is Bart Janssen. He's going to be one of the judges on stage.
Correct.
He is one of those legends of Steel Timber Sports, making sure that everything works fine. And we also have a video judge, and that's Noot van Leer, who will also take care of everything. And these guys are very happy about those judges being here, because we know everything is going to work out fine. We'll have, I don't know how many cameras, and Cyril Marchal and Elie Pagin, I hope I pronounced that correctly, are going to be in heat number 3. What about this heat? Any favorites from your side, Troy?
Well, Cyril's tail of the tape is definitely on his side. He, as you see, was the silver medalist in the National Pro Championship in 2018. He's kind of been up and down in his career. Elie Pagin is been working hard, obviously, to maintain his level. So let's see how he does today against Cyril, who's got quite a lot of experience.
3, 2, 1, go!
Very good start from Elie Pagin. It almost might have been early, the way he got into that block. He was quite fast, but he's looking good. And boy, he got deep on that first side very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised to see Elie Pagin go over to his second side ahead of Cyril. Yep, he did it. He's about 1.5, 2 strokes, maybe even 3 strokes ahead of Cyril. Oh, but he had a little problem there. Got a big chip stuck on his axe, and he gets back into the flow. Now you can see the 2 different ways that these guys are cutting on that second side. Cyril going for a narrower cut, and Elie going for a wider, more open cut. Let's see if that works for him on this second side, and it has. Great job by Elie Pagin, 37.84. He's being a bit faster than Cyril Marchal at 42.78. Both of them are right in the mix, though, and at the moment, it is Corentin Godin who is leading in the underhand chop in the competition, as Bart Janssen, who we mentioned earlier, checks the block of Cyril there.
Yeah, and Elie Pagin will be happy with that. You know, it's all about scoring those points, and you can see that the positions 2 to 5 are so close together. It's just fractions that make the difference, but you want to collect those points to make it to round 2 and hopefully to round 3.
Something we should also point out, too, is this is not an elimination heat that we see on stage. Yes,
absolutely.
These 2 guys are battling against each other on stage, and mostly what that's about is just the adrenaline of having a competitor on stage with you. As we take a look back here now at the replay, so you can see that little knot in the middle of the block there. It was dead center in the block, so it shouldn't have really affected how these guys were hitting, but what a great job there by Elie Pagin. And here you see Cyril Marchal a little bit narrower on that second side, and it was a bit of a slower cut for him. And Elie Pagin, what a great job to get right there a little bit faster as our next heat comes up.
Oh, look at Poisson. I love his pictures.
Yeah.
This guy is dangerous. Julien Meyer against Pierre-Louis Poisson. That's our heat number 4. Personal bests 30 and 35. So this could be one of those days where we see a new personal best.
The daughter-in-law of Julien Meyer also competed in the women's competition earlier today, setting 2 national records, one in the underhand chop and one in the single buck.
Sensational.
Yes. So there's a little bit of pedigree in that family, I would say.
I think you can definitely say that.
Okay.
There's PLP ready to go.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Perfect start.
Now, if you pay close attention to Pierre-Louis Poisson, he is not bringing the axe up to a very high position, but he's very effective with how he cuts because he's a super efficient and accurate driver. So every time that axe goes in, he's going in on the same line. You can see on the walls of the cut line there, he's very, very clean. There's not very many big steps, and there you go. And that tells you exactly why. 28.68, a good time for Pierre with a personal best. Julien Meyer trying to get through there, struggling on that second side, and he's done it in 38.95 with a little bunny hop down. So these times really are very close together. I mean, between the first and the last position, there's only 13 seconds, which is, it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't.
No. And like we said before, they need those points, you know, especially if it's as close as that. And
yeah.
Poisson, he's full of determination.
Yeah, he's also got the fastest time so far with his personal best as well. So that puts him among at the top of the leaderboard as our team will get that stage cleaned up. So you can see here, both of them are using a very similar style as a bit of a shorter swing and, you know, trying to put as much of that hip and core power into their hits, you know. So there you see Pierre-Louis Poisson at the top of the leaderboard at the moment, taking away the full 12 points. There's still a few more heats to go, but yeah, he's leading us right now.
Yeah, and 4 of 8 athletes with a personal best. Yep. That's what everybody hopes for, and you can see the crowd here, they're really enjoying themselves. We were a bit scared of rain coming in, but it hasn't rained so far. We can see a
so
bit
far
of
so good, so yes. Fingers crossed. Daumen drücken, as they say in German, that we have no rain for the remainder of the competition here today, as we really want to give these guys the best opportunity. And something I learned a few years ago is very often when the wood is chopping well, it doesn't saw very well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that develops when we get into the sawing disciplines, because our next discipline after underhand chop is going to be the stock saw. So it's going to be a nice balance to see how this does play out with the wood today. But I was speaking with Alexander Maurice earlier. He was giving me a rundown on the different axe shapes and stuff, and he said the wood is chopping very, very nicely. So
we'll definitely need to talk about that in detail later on. But for now, we can continue with the next heat, as I've been told. Or is that incorrect?
Well,
you tell me, Troy. You've got a better
good
view
up there. I mean, yeah, you're looking through the TV screen. I can see the stage directly. The blocks are set.
This, by the way, is one of the best places I've been to, because we've got the crowd really close. We've got the stage really close. It couldn't be much better. It's very
I mean, I love it being close to the crowd, close to the action. It's the most fun because you're right in the middle of it. You feel the vibe. You feel the impacts of the axes, and you feel the excitement of the crowd as well.
And there is quite an impact going on. Look at these next 2 heats. That's, yeah, what I was really hoping for. Loac Vincent against Adrien Courteau. And later on, we've got, of course, Pierre Puberet and Alex coming up, Alexandre Maurice.
Yep.
He is the reigning champion against the former, I don't know how many times champion. So the next 2 heats, something really to look forward to.
Now, Loic Vincent in this one is the up-and-comer. He's now been a pro for, I believe, 2 years coming out of the rookies. He is an exceptional talent. Adrien Courteau as well has been around the block, so he knows what needs to be done here. You can see there 2 years ago, he was the bronze medalist in the Pro Championship. So, you know, he absolutely has the skills, but Loic has been absolutely on fire the last couple of years.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Now look at the pace that Adrien Courteau is using, yeah? He's very quick with the axe. He isn't bothering to choke up on that thing at all, or barely. And the thing that's really scary about him, look how accurate his drivers are. He's right on that sidewall every single time. 15 seconds on the first side, he switches over to the second side, about a half driver ahead of Loic Vincent. Loic Vincent going for some big power drivers. Adrien Courteau looking very good though, and wow! Second side for Loic Vincent, personal best, 27.68. And Adrien Courteau, they stopped his time a little bit prematurely, but it looks like he's got a 30.60 and also a personal best for him, so great job.
So, but that's going to be interesting, and that's where our judges come back in. If the clock doesn't stop or stops too early, they will make sure to tell us the correct time, and it seems to be 30.
There we go. So
3.52. Yeah.
What they use here is it's called the double indemnity system. So they have 4 people out in front, 2 for each stand, with stop timers in their hands. And so what happens is when they see that block split, they push the button. And sometimes somebody will push the button prematurely, and what happens there is they go to our competition control center, and that's looked at with a little bit more of an accurate timer and high-speed camera system is what you're seeing here, as well as one of our cameras in that position, and they can see when the block actually split, and they readjust the time. So more often than not, you'll see the times adjusted down, but in this case, the time was adjusted up, so Adrien Courteau ended up with a 33 instead of a 30.
So thank you very much to our video judge, Nout van Leeuw, who's in charge of all those cameras. And now, Pierre Pubaret against Alex Maurice. Oh, Troy, that's the one I've been waiting for.
Yeah, this was the battle last year between these two guys. Which one of these two would represent France at the World Championships and gain the most possible points in the European rankings? Last year, it was Alex Maurice, and Alex, he actually grinds his own axes and creates and grinds the axes for many European athletes as well.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So Pierre Pubaret has been the perennial champion in France for a long, long time. He's basically 7 times in a row that he has won this championship, with the exception of a couple of years where he got skipped over. Last year was one of those years when Alex Maurice, the shorter of the two men, was actually quicker through the competition. You can see Alex Maurice doing a very good job on this block, got a little bit sticky there, and Pierre Pubaret slightly faster. Now Alex is struggling on that second side, has to do one more driver, 29.74. So that's going to put him in 4th place in the underhand shot. Pierre Pubaret is on a mission to take that championship back, and he is in the lead right now.
Pierre angry, you know, and that's a dangerous man to have, you know, really fighting for it. Last year, of course, with the World Championship being in Toulouse, I think he was not too happy not to become the French national champion.
Not at all. So he was an unhappy camper last year. And like you say, an angry Pierre Pubaret is not an athlete that you want to compete against, because he is going to be putting a lot of hate into those blocks, as it were. You can see here, he was just putting everything he had into it. Yeah, and it was a sticky axe for Alex Maurice on that end there. So it was just 1 or 2 drivers extra that he needed, and he needed time to pull that axe out. So unfortunately for him.
Here are the points for the underhand shot. First discipline done. And Pierre Pubaret taking those 12 points like he was hoping for.
Yeah, absolutely. Louis
style.
Poisson in 2nd place there. Pierre-Louis Poisson in 3rd place. He had the lead for a short while, and Alexander Maurice in the top 4 positions. So, I mean, these guys are still really in the mix here, but we're very, very early in the competition as well.
Yeah, but still, I always believe if you have a good start, it just gives you that extra drive for and that self-conscience, you know, to go into the next discipline. Talking about the next discipline, it's stock saw, Troy. That is one of those chainsaws that you can buy in a shop.
Yeah, we don't have the stock saw here in studio. Normally we have one to show you, but we've got the video. Let's check out the tool and discipline for stock saw.
The STIHL MS661CM stock saw is used in STIHL Timbersports as the ultimate test of operator skill. Designed for the toughest jobs in forestry, it produces approximately 7.3 horsepower, has a displacement of 91.1 cc, and weighs 7.4 kilograms. To ensure evenly and fairly matched saws, professional STIHL technicians prepare and test the saws before each competition. Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark. 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
So these are the heats for our second discipline, the stock saw.
Roger Géhin in that first heat. He is a very good stock sawyer. I'm not sure about Quentin Deck, to be honest with you. And we know that Pierre Pouille-Barré and Cyril Marchal are also excellent stock sawyers. So let's see if my little fantasy about if it's cutting good, it's not going to saw well, comes to fruition here. As we can see, these two guys are actually pretty well matched up as far as the tail of the tape is concerned, with just over 10 seconds each as their personal best times. We should point out the stock saw world record is 8:51. It's been held since 2021 by Ole Magnus Suljeberget from Norway.
We were there live when he did that.
Yes.
That was quite a surprise for everyone. And since 2021, that's impressive, yeah.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, very nice start by Quentin Deck. He got right in there quick, but Roger Géhin, as I said, he's got such a good feel for that machine. Oh my goodness, do we have a new world record? No way! That's going to have to be confirmed. But if that is in fact the case, Roger Géhin has just taken the world record away from Ole Magnus Suljeberget.
We just talked about it.
We just talked about that.
It.
Unbelievable. And Roger Géhin with a fantastic cut. Let's see if this actually stands up.
I can't believe it. What is going on? Oh, my word.
What an incredible cut.
Let's not talk about your theory if you with the wood.
I think that one's thrown out the window here.
Okay, both Scots are good.
And we do have, let me just wait where the graphics come up here. I do believe that Roger Géhin has just done it. He's done it. 7.88 is
Even
the new world record.
Thought.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. The Competition Control Center gets hold of it. They check the start and the finish, and he gained some time on that one even. So 7.88 is your new world record, held by Frenchman Roger Géhin. Let's look at this again. Oh, beautiful start. This was a great start here as well by Quentin Deck. He got in there fast.
I don't know if you can hear it at home, but the crowd here going wild for the world record.
Yeah. And I mean, two beautifully thin cookies. That second one was paper thin. His transition was absolutely on point. Fantastic world record by Roger Géhin. Great job.
Sensational.
Let's watch this one more time. You can see that first cookie, thin to win is the way they call it. Watch what happens when he gets to the bottom of the cut here. Barely any swing on the transition, and that upcut is paper thin. You could fold that in half if you needed to. Look at that. Just amazing.
With 58 years of age.
Yes.
Getting that world record. Oh, that was perfect.
Absolutely fantastic. All right. Onwards and upwards, folks.
Wow. Imagine walking in now in heat number 2. Is that
no pressure?
Wow.
Oh, man. All right, the next heat, Florian Clos, Elie Pagin. I mean, weirder things have happened. I don't know. Are we going to get another world record at some point during the day? That's going to be a tough one to beat, though. It's the old record stood since 2021.
I'm super impressed. That was just...
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a problem for Florian. He's noticed it. He's gone back to recut Elie Pagin on the upcut. And he's going to have himself a 9.25 personal best and a 10.42 for Florian. Also a personal best. And a good thing that he noticed that first cut, because he did have a cutout at the top of his cookie, and that would have been a DQ had he not gone back and done a complete cookie. So good job by him, and still getting a personal best out of it. Great.
Crazy.
Okay, both Scots are good.
So many smiles up there on stage. Crazy good start into this competition.
Yeah, everybody's got a personal best so far and one world record in there as well. So you know, maybe it's the wood is sawing better than chopping. I have no idea at this point.
Maybe that's your last chance of getting that theory.
I'm a little bit twisted now, to be honest with you. Yeah, see right there, you can see that little cutaway. He realized it and then got back into it. The problem there is he's got to go over and give himself a complete cookie. That takes away a lot more of that 10 centimeters line that he's got to cut the 2 cookies out of. So he risks on the upcut going on over the line, but he did very well there to make sure that he was within that 10 centimeter mark. Great job.
Julien Meyer and Corentin Gaudin next up in heat number 3. And we have the world record, 7.88, just set up 5 minutes ago.
Fantastic. Now keep an eye on Corentin Gaudin here in this one. I think we may see a very good cut from this man. Can you hear me? Okay, that's weird.
Okay. Warm up your toes.
Corentin didn't want the audience seeing him warm up his saw. Okay.
Athletes, ready.
Stands to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Nice even start by both gentlemen. Nice transition by Corentin. He's on the upcut. Not a world record, but that's going to be a great personal best for him. 9.45. Julien Meyer with a 9.71. Very, very nice cuts. That puts Corentin Gaudin in 3rd place in the stock saw, and in the overall standings, he's in number 1 at the moment. So he is definitely in the mix today. And we can hear the horn to our left outside the studio here. That's the fan club of Corentin Gaudin. They are in force.
It looks like everybody's been practicing the stock saw. That's...
It's one of the easiest ones to practice, but one of the hardest ones to get good at, because it's really about knowing the machine. You have to feel the vibrations. You have to hear the motor. Even when you're wearing the headset, you've got to be able to know when you're pushing or pulling too hard on that chain to see that it's cutting cleanly and efficiently and not bogging down the motor. Very nice second cookie there from Julien Meyer.
Oh.
So here's a couple of guys that know what they're doing with the stock saw in hand. Pierre-Louis Poisson especially. It's not really reflected in his times for either of these guys, actually. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out of this one.
And I just love the pictures.
Yeah, so serial. What is it that the Joker said? Why so serious?
Yep. Heat number 4.
I say this quite often about Pierre Puy-Barré because he comes on stage, he's a big man, he's got broad shoulders, a wide back, you know. Yeah, he's kind of always got that mean, serious face on, and then you see him backstage and he's got that twinkle in his eye, you know.
Super
a little
nice
bit of a joke there.
yeah.
Super, super nice guy, yeah.
Okay. Warm up your toes.
Something really important here, too, is that... Explain in a second.
3, 2, 1, go.
So something really important here is the guys have to have their hands on that block so that their fingers are in front of the line. And both these guys, really, really nice cuts here. Both of them, it's going to be Pierre Puy-Barré getting a 9.70, dropping underneath the 10-second mark, and a personal best for him. Pierre-Louis Poisson, a little bit slower than his personal best, so he is currently sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard here for our stock saw. Pierre Puy-Barré moves into top spot. You can see the orange square with the first place. He moves into top spot in the overall, and the little orange square with the black writing is he is in 6th place in the stock saw.
I mean, I guess both athletes are going to be happy with the times because they're personal best, but definitely not with the placements.
Did they adjust his Pierre-Louis Poisson? They did adjust it, didn't they? So
yeah, but he's still in 8th position so far after 4 heats, so he's not going to be happy about that. And with Pierre Puberet in 6th, that's not the amount of points that he was wishing for, but we know this is one of the disciplines where he doesn't collect too many points compared to especially the axe disciplines. But time to find out what Alex Maurice can do in Heat 5 and maybe move ahead. We'll see.
We'll see. So the picture that we saw on the screen there was, I don't believe, the correct one. We've got Adrien Coteau and Cyril Marchal coming now.
Correct, that's heat number 5. And in heat 6, Loic Voisin and Alexandre
Warm
Maurice.
up your toes. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, both getting into that wood really quickly. Courteau with a nice cut. Cyril Marchal, oh, he's got a problem on the upcut. I hope he saw that because he's got a cutout, so he's going to have to go back and cut again.
He didn't see it.
Adrien Courteau with a 9.36 personal best, and Cyril Marchal had to go back and be very careful with that third cookie to get it on the deck. Hopefully, he didn't cut over the line, and he's got 2 cookies that are complete. That's what our judge, Radu Kasugu, is looking at right now.
That was great camera work again. You could see his facial expressions saying it all.
Both cuts are good.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, 14.74. So Cyril, who had a really nice start to the cut, is not going to be happy with that because, I mean, his personal best is an 11.24. So he's way off the pace there. Let's take a look back. You can see it on the first cut here. Or maybe it's the second cut on the upcut. So here you see Cyril gets into it very, very nicely. Adrien Courteau as well. We're going to have to see on that upcut, though, on the transition. It's a fairly thick cookie on that first cut, so that created problems for him. As he goes up, he had to try and get a thinner cookie. You could see that bar cut out, so it was a super thin cookie. There just wasn't a complete cookie. Now he's got to go back and really be careful about that next cut to make sure that he's got an entire complete cookie on the deck, and oh, that was close.
So this is the heat we've been talking about before. Loic Voisin against Alex Maurice. And that's a great chance for Alex to get back some points on Pierre Puberet.
It's a good opportunity for him, and we know that he's a very good stock sawyer. It's not his favorite discipline, but he is good at it. And then you can see the grease pen in Loic Voisin's hand as he marks his start point, and he'll mark his finish point as well. So it's interesting how they do it at the top, so they don't bother thinking about where the saw bar is when they do their transition. They look at that top point and just make sure their fingers are lined up with it.
Or is it like riding a motorbike? You look where you're going.
Yeah, hopefully. You don't want to look at your front tire when you're doing 100 kilometers down the road, right?
Yeah.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
So Loic very quick on the pickup and entry into that block. Nice transition by him as well.
Oh, Maurice.
Alexandre Maurice struggling a little bit on the transition, and we've got a personal best for Loic, and Alexandre Maurice with a 10. Let's see where he's sitting here. Alex
Should be 9th if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, his 9th position. 9.92 after adjustment, so he's got a personal best. And what we're looking at here is of the 12 athletes that have competed, 11 of them have 10 of them have personal bests, and one is walking away with a world record.
That's crazy. Actually, that is crazy.
Yeah. So I guess we could say that the wood is sawing very well today. So you can see Loic Voisin was very quick on the entry into the block, and his transition was beautiful. Alex Maurice, he got in there quickly, but it was a bit of a chunky start. You could see how wide that first cookie is, and the upcut, he was trying to find his pace, but it just wasn't there. Now that second cookie from Alex was beautiful and thin. That first cookie was so thick, it took a lot more time to cut through that material and get down to the bottom of the block.
So that's discipline number 2 with the points. And of course, we're going to have the overall points of the 2 disciplines as well. But a world record here, that is something we actually were not expecting. But we like it even more now that this has happened, especially to this wonderful athletes. And in the overall standings, we have a bit of a surprise with Vincent up front. And you can hear the crowd reacting to seeing this. Pupari in second, Godin in third with the same amount of points as Courtois. Of course, if we have like now 3 athletes with the same amount of points, it's the time, Troy, that counts, the fastest time,
It's the times that count. Yes, that's absolutely correct. So Loïc Vincent takes over the top spot. You could still hear the crowd in the audience out there going bananas for him. So that's a great job. I think that he's kind of a local boy, and they really like him. And if he's not a local boy, he brought his fan club with him. So that's fantastic. Great job. So we are now through 2 disciplines, and we already saw a little bit of shucking and jiving in the rankings. Now we're going to check out our 3rd discipline in this first round. And this is what counts to see which 8 athletes will move on to the 2nd round. The next discipline coming up is the standing block chop, a very difficult discipline to get good at. Let's take a look at this discipline here and the explanation.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
In the studio, and the standing block chop heat is about to be shown. Here we have Quentin Deck against Roger Gahin. Florian Clos against Julien Mayer in heat number 2. Heat number 3 consisting of Pierre-Louis Poisson and Corentin Godin. In heat 4, Loïc Vincent and Cyril Marchal. In heat 5, Elie Pagin and Adrien Courtois. And in heat number 6, again it is Pierre Pupari taking on Alexandre Meurice. And we are ready for discipline number 3 in this round 1. Of course, like Troy said before, only 8 athletes will proceed to round number 2. And into rounds number 3, the hot cell, we only have 6 athletes. So this is a big one now.
Now this is an important discipline here, the standing block chop, because the guys that are kind of on the bubble in those, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 positions.
Kind of in the bubble?
Kind of on the bubble, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, they want to make sure that they really get good times here. They have to kind of keep in mind what kind of points they already have and how many points they require in order to make sure they're among the top 8 and moving on to that next round. So it's an important one. It's a little bit of a tactic situation here for some of these guys. The guys are in the top 5, 6 positions. They don't really need to worry about it. It's not like they're going to sit on their laurels and go, okay, I'm done.
Maybe not.
But no, it's unlikely, right?
I just want to add what you said in the beginning. It's like the heat, it's competing 1 against 1, but it's also having those times in mind, where am I going to end up? How can I collect the most points? And it's not just enough maybe to beat your opponent, but to get a better time than the next heat that might be coming up. And it's a lot of thoughts that might block you. I mean, no pressure, but might also push 1 or 2 of these athletes like we've seen in the past years.
Right, it's interesting because a lot of these guys have training partners or trainers, and they'll go and meet them in the back, and they'll talk through what's happened so far in the heats, and they'll be like, okay, the trainer says, oh, you need 10 points, and, then they have to...
exactly they like have that,
to know, they have to know that, they need to get to a certain level of speed on those blocks. So, there's a little bit of thought process in it as well when they come out. How do I have to do this in order to save some energy?
Because it's not to be underestimated in STIHL Timbersports that you can take a risk, which might cost you some vital time. But if everything works out perfectly fine, well, you're going to be on top. And that's what these guys are hoping for. In Heat 1, as we mentioned before, Quentin Deck and Roger Guérin, a man who is a world record holder, by
He's
the
a
way.
world record. Is he going to get another world record? I mean, we might be on a roll today.
Okay,
who knows, right?
If he gets another world record today,
there's something going on here. Huh? We're going to have to do some tests. This is a interesting discipline because you have to really have your targeting and your angles just optimized here with these axes. If you have an angle just incorrectly, you're going in straight, you're not cutting the wood efficiently. If your angle is too sharp, then you know you're skipping off the block. Here we go. So big age difference between these two guys here as Roger Guérin has to do a little bit of house cleaning to get rid of a piece of chip off of his axe. Quentin Deck really going for it. Roger Guérin switching to the second side of his block, about a half driver ahead of Quentin Deck. And now they get going on that second side. You can see those chips flying for both of these guys. There are going to be no world records falling here, that's for sure. But it's about trying to get the fastest time possible, as we were mentioning, to try and get in among those top 8 athletes. And right now, Roger Guérin is a little bit on the bubble as he has dropped his block at 40.22. And Quentin Deck with a personal, 40.22 was for Quentin Deck, excuse me. Roger Guérin with a 43.05. So Quentin Deck has got himself a PB in the books.
I just love those facial expressions. No need to say anything, you know. They're just. But what about the judges, Troy? Looks like they're having this under review.
I didn't see a flag on the play. Did a flag go down? And the only thing I think could be the reason here, and it looks like right now, Radu is going to head over to the competition control center. Yep. So the only thing I think could be the reason here is an early start. So they'll go and look at the competition control center and get onto those slow motion cameras. And here they are now. And this is the heart of the system. So what they'll do is they'll look at each of the various angles from the ultra high speed cameras and then see where it is from the start gun to impact of the axe in the block, if that is in fact what they're looking at.
Or do you think that maybe it's about not having a straight stroke on the last one, but a twist of the ankle?
No, that's something that happens mostly just in the springboard. I think it's going to be about.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Bit of entertainment there on stage.
Bart's always good for a laugh or two. What I was going to say, I think it's mostly about an early start, but we'll see. The response has to come from our judging crew here, and Bart's obviously stepped back and is going to let Radu take care of it here.
Okay, we perform a video check. It is a wrenching here, the last one.
Oh, you're absolutely correct, Floaty. It was wrenching. Good eye.
But wow. I didn't hope they were going to go for it, but it looked like he was not sure himself, Roger.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment and, you know, you want to pull the axe out and you just give it a little twist, and that can cause the top block to break off prematurely, and that's what they actually call wrenching. That's something that we see more often than not in the, as I mentioned, in the springboard. It's not something that's very often called. In fact, it's incredibly rare that you see wrenching called in the standing block chop. But you could see Roger was getting a couple of sticky ones. Yeah, it was right there. He was just trying to release his axe and wrenched a little bit too much, and it came off not with a cut, but with a twist of the axe. So that's where the problem was
well,
from.
That's a bit unlucky too, because I'm 100% sure you didn't do that on purpose, but that's the rules. And here is heat number 2.
Florian Clos looks like he might have ridden in on his Harley to come to this event here. At least from the pictures that we saw earlier.
Maybe he has.
Switched his leathers in his cut with the logo on the back for a Timbersports t-shirt.
Okay.
Great personal best time from Julian Meyer, by the way, 34.38. So,
wow.
Florian Clos has got a little bit of work cut out for him here to try and get that points. Looking very good, though, Florian is.
Oh, speed.
Obviously, he's been working on this. You can see there, that's a really nice example of some steppy cuts on the initial drivers there. He goes in short on a couple of them. So, you know, those steppy cuts means he's cutting new material every single time. He's not going through his original cut. So that's a little bit of inaccuracy there. And I think we might see Florian Clos get himself that personal best here today, going up against Julian Meyer.
100% sure.
Yep, he's got it. There you go.
Wow.
With a bullet, he cut his personal best time more or less in half. Fantastic. Great job.
Wow.
Julian Meyer with a 37.87, and great job by Florian Clos to get a nice time.
Best time so far, actually.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
All right, good.
Wow. 1.12 used to be his old personal best, and now he's down to 35.58.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. That's cutting your time in half, literally. Yeah, you can see here, there's a lot of salad on both of these guys' cuts there. And what I refer to as salad is like those really chunky lines on the inside chop lines of the block. So efficient cutting is when you cut in on that same line every time, and you're just removing material off that same line, so you're not cutting new material every single time, and that's where that steppiness comes from. You know, it's just about time on the block. So some guys can get away, you know, like a Braden Meyer from Australia can get away with that steppiness because he's got so much power.
But he's a 1 in a million.
Yeah, and he just goes in there with a pace. It's like, and he's just hammering that block away. It doesn't matter. He's going through so fast. His accuracy doesn't matter. So try and imagine a guy like Braden Meyer with that kind of accuracy. He'd be an absolute killer on the standing block chop.
Which he already is.
Which he already really is, you know, so yeah, it's a wild situation. And if you see the guys that are really, you know, you don't see them hitting as fast, but they're hitting really effortlessly. It's like accurate is slow, or accurate is clean is fast. So,
but the progress that STIHL Timbersports has made over the last few years is incredible. And things like you just mentioned, the pace and the style and everything has changed and developed. And I can't believe it, but STIHL Timbersports has a 40-year jubilee, which is crazy. And of course, we've got some pictures going with that 40-year jubilee.
I wouldn't mind being 40 again.
STIHL Timbersports is gearing up for the 2025 season, celebrating 40 years of adrenaline-fueled logger sports history. Since 1985, the original extreme sport has grown from a U.S.-based event to the pinnacle series of global competitive woodchopping with athletes and competitions in over 20 countries worldwide. Get ready for an axe-exhilarating season filled with passion, precision, and pure power.
How does it feel to see those pictures? I mean, you've been there from the start.
Oh.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, 40 years of timber sports, and you see some of those older pictures, the guys in their wife beater shirts and,
Love it.
you know, their crazy hair. And now we're coming to a point in the sport where it's really reached a professional level. I mean, it's always been high adrenaline fueled professional sport, but you can see the training, the way the guys are taking the sport preparation seriously, how they get ready for the events, the different warm-ups they do prior. I mean,
and just the amount of cameras following the competition and giving everyone the opportunity to take a closer look at everything that's happened.
Exactly.
And while we're talking, the next heat has already started. So I'm getting too excited here. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, a smoke and a beer before your heat doesn't really cut it anymore, you know? All right, so Pierre-Louis Poisson up against Corentin Godin, who is moved over to the second side of his block already, looking very good on that second side. Pierre-Louis Poisson, I believe, might have been on his second side a little bit before Corentin Godin, and Poisson's got it in 26.78, his personal best. Now, Corentin's personal best is a 36.19. Will he be able to get there? Oh my goodness, it's not going to happen today, unfortunately, because of one little bit of thread holding that block in place, but he is close to his personal best, so that stays consistent for him, and that's a good job.
Okay, those cuts are good.
Here I am, I'm there.
Where did he go? Oh, he's going to be happy with that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's again about claiming those points, and then positions 2, 3, and 4 very, very close together again, and then it does make a big difference.
Now you can see Pierre-Louis Poisson, those first two drivers on the bottom of his block, he got really, really sticky. And here, Corentin with some really nice drivers, but again, the accuracy not quite there. But that will come with more time on the block, and that's really what it's all about. Last couple of drivers here from Poisson and Corentin. He just one extra driver needed, unfortunately, in that case. And had he been one driver less, he probably would have had a personal best by maybe a half second.
It's getting loud again. This crowd here, they're having a great time. Look at that. Perfect.
Somebody's got themselves a train horn in the audience for Loic.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start by Loic Poisson. Look at him go. Now, he has, on occasion, anchored the French team in this discipline, and you can see he is accurate in his drivers and quick to that second side. You can see how smooth the sides are on that first side when he was cutting through, and he's going to be quick through this block by the looks of it. 3 or 4 more drivers for Loic should do it. Yep, there you go. 25.95 for Loic Poisson, as he's got himself a personal best. Cyril Marchal very close to those security screws at the top. He's got to be careful. And a 35.46 for Cyril.
And again, 8 athletes, 4 personal bests. This, for me, is the best French national championship I have seen.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And look at the joy in his face, having a good time as well, not only competing on top level.
The question is if it's joy of competing or relief that the heat is finished.
I know what I choose. Like,
the other thing we have to mention and point out as well is something that Alex pointed out to me, is that there is a crop of more than 20 young rookie athletes that are exceptionally talented. And that puts a lot of pressure on the pros that are competing right now, because they know that in order for them to continue to compete at this level, they have to stay on point with all of their training, knowing that there is so many young and talented athletes coming up.
so here we have the results so far, because that's only 4 heats, and of course we have 6 heats, but it's looking really good for Vincent with a time of 25.69. Do you think anyone's going to be able to beat that in the next 2 heats, Troy?
Well, we got a couple of guys still coming up. Elie Pajan, Adrien Courteau, Pierre Pouy-Barré, and Alex Maurice.
I mean,
Pierre Pouy-Barré, I mean, all day, every day. I mean, you know, put an axe in his hand, and especially like we mentioned right off the hop in the underhand chop, he's an angry competitor right now because he wants back to the top of that podium. So I imagine that he might put down a very, very good time. That's not to say that Alex Maurice or any of the other competitors, Adrien or Elie, won't come in and say, no, this is my block here. You know, I'm going to win this one. So among the 4 last athletes, you could toss a coin and go, okay, that's my guy.
And of course, all of these athletes not only want to win this national championship, but they also want to compete on a top level to be in the top 8 of the European ranking to make it to the World Championship.
Yes.
That, of course, this year is going to be taking place in Milano. And if you want to, I don't know, get a bit of a feel for that, well, we've got some pictures for you coming up. Make sure to put that in your calendar.
Heck yes.
Don't want to miss out on that.
All right, so let's see if they keep putting the wrong picture up for Adrien Coteau. It's Alexander Maurice there. So you can see Elie Pageant on the right-hand side of your screen there, Adrien Coteau on the left-hand side of your screen wearing the ball cap. A couple of guys that are very, very solid in this discipline. They've got a beat 25.69 from Loic Vincent in order to take the top in this discipline. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Coteau onto that second side very quickly. Elie Pageant taking his time to get over to that second side, and Adrien Coteau working hard to try and get through that in under 25 seconds. I don't think it's going to happen in this case. He's got a big split in the log that's causing him problems, and it's 26.92. Elie Pageant rounding out the 30-second mark and heading towards 35 here as he might get close to it. He's trying to get through there. He left a little bit too much material on the first side.
No way!
Maybe shortcutting it a little bit, and he is in some trouble now.
That's
as he is trying
not the
too
situation
hard.
you want to be in. That's horrible.
Absolutely not the situation you want to be in. So you can see he left a lot of material on that first side. Might have thought about going a bit deeper on that first side and then cutting through shorter on the second side. So Loic Vincent still holding on to that top position in the standing block chop.
He doesn't even want to move to the center.
Okay.
He's,
Those shots are good.
oh, that's probably the worst thing that can happen to you in a competition like this.
You can see
Almost there,
You
yeah.
can see the results at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel's just a little bit foggier than usual, and you can see that big split in the log from in the block from Adrien Coteau. What happens there is that second half of the block starts to move away from the axe at each driver, so the power of the drivers is not going into the block, it's being absorbed by the block. We maybe get a view of that on that second side when Adrien moves around. You can see him getting off to that second side quickly as he checks his foot position, and right here one of these drivers splits that block, and then you can see the actual block start to move away from his axe on each hit. So yeah, okay, we're not going to get to see it, unfortunately. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and you can see each time it moves away from him. And, yeah, that probably cut away a bit more time than he wanted on that one. And unfortunately for Elie Pageant, that was also a bit of a rough cut. Okay, here's an interesting heat.
Oh, yes. Pierre Puybarré against Alex Maurice. It is the last heat in this first round. And Loic Vincent leading at the moment, not only in this discipline, but in the overall standings. And it's going to be interesting to find out if one of these two athletes can make a difference.
I mean, with 18 seconds and change as his personal best, Pierre Puybarré definitely has the pedigree on this discipline. Alexander Maurice maybe switched an axe here because of the underhand chop and has decided to go with a different one. He told me that he's almost exclusively cutting with the chisel axe.
Oh, my word.
Oh, look at these guys. They're in sync with each other almost, hey? A little bit of a sticky axe there for Alex Maurice as he switches down to the second side, right with Pierre Puybarré, who's also on the second side. These are evenly matched up drivers right now. Alex Maurice, He went for a bit of a, oh my goodness, Pierre Puy-Barré with the fastest time of 21:21. That puts him atop the leaderboard here, and Alex Maurice with a 26:70 sits in 5th place in the standing block chop. So that means Pierre Puy-Barré will move into 2nd place in the overall, with Loïc Vincent in 1st place holding down that top spot as they will move on to the 2nd round.
Of course, Alex will also make it to the 2nd round, but only as 5th, which is a bit of a surprise, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of the 1st round, it's about making sure you get to that 2nd round, and then making sure in that 2nd round that you're among the top 6 that can go to the hot saw. Now, the hot saw is going to be an interesting animal if Loïc Vincent can get there, because he's never been very strong in the hot saw. That's always been a discipline that's sort of been his bailiwick, you know?
Oh, but again, that's some great pictures that we're getting delivered from our camera crew.
Yes.
And Alex is always so focused.
So not his fastest time for either of these guys, in fact. So, you know, we're seeing good times, but not the fastest times. And in standing block chop, Pierre Puy-Barré just ahead of Loïc Vincent, but by virtue of some really steady competition throughout the day so far in the first 3 disciplines, Loïc Vincent is going to hold on to the top spot in the overall standings, and we'll see how this is affected after this discipline here when the overall standings come up.
Oh, look at the crowd react to Vincent being in the lead.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, there's a great emotion here in Sarrebourg, and that's what everybody loves. The athletes love it, we love it, and of course the crowd is enjoying it so much. And it's going to be a tight one. Just 4 points between position 1 and 2, and then another 4 points between position 2 and 3. So still everything and anything is possible, but from taking a closer look at the last national competitions, Puy-Barré used to race away. Now he's like in 2nd position, kind of maybe even more dangerous like this, or?
I think so, in fact. I mean, Puy-Barré is not a dumb competitor. He's very tactical as well. So he can be in 3rd or 4th position at this point, and he knows what he has to do. And coming up in the next discipline, it is the single buck, and he is exceptional at the single buck. So here is an opportunity for him to pull away a little bit, like you were saying.
And more points in round number 2 as well.
And more points as well, because in the 2nd round, it's going to be 16 points as opposed to 12 points. And then as we go into the 3rd round, it's 18 points for those top spots. So, you know, it's still all to play for, as they say in the UK. But right now, among the top 8 guys, it's like throw a dart into the wall and see who's going to be atop that podium at the end of the day. It's anybody's guess.
Shall we take a closer look at this very special instrument?
My favorite one.
Misery whip.
The misery whip.
The 2-meter-long cross-cut saw used for the single buck discipline is made especially for competition. A series of consistently patterned 10-centimeter-long teeth are cut with a laser on one side of the saw and then hand-sharpened. Saw teeth are divided into 2 types, cutters and rakers, just like on the old-school saws. The saw weighs about 5 kilos, and its base price starts at around 1,500 euros. Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
A classic flash of the 2 young men in the box.
So that's our 4 heats. Julien Meyer against Elie Pagin in heat number 1, Corentin Gaudin and Alexandre Maurice, heat number 2. Heat number 3 consisting of Pierre-Louis Poisson and Adrien Cortot. And in heat 4, we're going to see Pierre Puy-Barré and Loïc Vincent. So heat number 1, misery whip. But what do the athletes need to take a closer look at? How do you prepare, and what do you do if that horrible, horrible saw gets stuck? Because I've seen that so many times, Troy.
It is a dastardly tool, let's put it that way. If you change the angle too much, those 10-centimeter long teeth are going to lock up on the wood, because it does have a curved angle to it. So like the saw blades itself are actually in a curve. So when you're cutting straight through, it is cutting a little gully inside the wood. So if you change the angle even slightly, those teeth can hook up on that little edge or side of the wood on the way in through the push or on the way out through the drawback. So you really have to saw straight. The beautiful thing about the single buck saw is that it's such an efficient cutter. In theory, you could just push it back and forth with one hand and it will do the work. Yeah, it'll take 10 minutes to get through the block, but it will cut through the block. So these guys really have to focus on making sure that they're sawing straight and making sure that there's no angle on the saw. And when they get to the bottom of the cut as well, not to twist the saw at all and break off a portion of the disc and leave a tab at the bottom. And interestingly enough, we saw somebody do this, but they left their tab at the top. So,
wow.
or rather they they broke out at the top, so they had to reposition the saw at the very top
that sounds horrific.
Begin their cut. That's that happened in the rookie competition. So yeah. Oh, sun's out, guns out. Here we go. Showing the pipes for the ladies in the audience. Technique is also a really big aspect of this, and time on the saw, repetitive training. It's basically what it boils down to. Here we go.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Julian Meyer with a really nice start. And you can see the difference in the technique between these two guys. Julian Meyer went immediately in for the long, steady, flowing strokes. Elie Pageant, a little bit shorter on his strokes, but faster in the repetitiveness of the strokes. And both of them quite efficient to the bottom. 19.32 for Elie Pageant and a 21.73 for Julian Meyer. So you can see two very different styles here, but similar speed through the block. So this is, you know, telling you a lot about these particular instruments.
I've been told you're quite talented in this discipline. So
it's lies. It's all lies.
So what is your technique? What is your tactics, Troy? You're fast saw, or you're slow and precise?
I'm a panic sawyer.
Okay.
Okay, those cuts are good.
That's all we want to hear.
All right, Julian Meyer, 21.43, and Elie Pageant with a 19.03. So a good start to the competition. Elie Pageant with a nice time, and that's going to get him, for the moment, the 16 points. But we still do have 6 more talented athletes coming out here. And you can see just the difference in the styles between these two. Julian Meyer going for those long, steady strokes, using the entire length of the saw. Very efficient cutting. And Elie Pageant, he was a little bit quicker. You know, a couple of times he had long strokes, but more often than not, he was using the middle 70% of the saw to cut through that block.
Yeah, and of course now it's 16 points for the fastest athletes, 14 for the second best, 12 for the third best. That might also, you know, make a big difference. So you don't want to end up in third, but in second, or small details can make the big difference now.
Yeah. So now coming up, we have Corentin Godin going up against Alex Maurice.
Okay.
Now, two different statures of men here. Corentin Godin is a tall guy. Alex Maurice is diminutive, yeah? Alex said to me earlier on, because I said, you know, I said to him, matter of factly, you're a bit of a technician. He says, yeah, I have to be. I'm not big, you know? And it's true. He is an absolute tactician, and he also has a very fast personal best time here on the single buck. So if he can stay consistent with his way of cutting, then he will do very well here. Now, the difference also between these two guys is Alex is not using spiked shoes, whereas
which always
Corentin
surprises
Godin,
me. why would you not use spiked shoes?
Some guys are more comfortable not changing their shoes in the middle of a competition. That's just the way they are. I mean,
Okay.
you know, but you could see Corentin has spiked shoes, so like shot put or javelin shoes with the big spikes to get better grip on the floor. So that may bode well for him.
To your timber.
Let's see how they're cutting.
3, 2, 1, go!
Very nice start. Excuse me. And you can see Alex is using the entire length of that saw to his advantage, and he is right close to the bottom of that cut. Should do it in 17.28, and Corentin in a 20.40. Good time, not as fast as time, but solid. He's got himself third place right now. Alex Maurice atop the leaderboard with a 17.28 unofficial time at the moment.
No personal best so far in this discipline.
Interesting. So my whole chopping, sawing thing again.
That's what I was
right out the
referring
window,
to.
yeah.
Okay, both guns are good.
All right, official time's now locked in, 17.08 for Alex Maurice. Corentin Godin with a 20.18, 3/10 or 3 seconds 10 off the pace of our fastest sawyer here. So now let's take a look back, and two different thicknesses off those starting cuts, right? You can see a very, very thin cookie for Corentin, a bit of a thicker one for Alex Maurice. And the difference here is the thicker the cookie at the front of the block, the safer you are, but the more drag there is on the saw. And you can see at the bottom of the cut here for Corentin, it started to angle towards the outside. So he got a bit lucky there that it didn't break out on him or angle out too thin at the bottom. So, you know, it was a good tactical choice on his part to have a thin cookie out there, but there is a risk to having that thin front side.
So the world record at 10.47 in this discipline, that is quite impressive.
Absolutely.
So now Pierre-Louis Poisson and Adrien Courteau in a third heat.
That world record, by the way, Canadian owns it. Ben Cumberland from 2023.
23, yeah.
Yeah. Believe he got that at the World Championships in Stuttgart.
What a machine, yeah.
So Pierre-Louis Poisson, PLP, against Adrien Courteau, whose picture is still not correct in the mask up at the front.
Okay, athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, look at this. Adrien Courteau using the entire length of that saw. He's going tip to knuckles, and he's got pace. Pierre-Louis Poisson also looking very good. This is pretty evenly matched up towards the bottom. A bit of a sticky runner for Poisson at the bottom, 20.25 and 21.01. Very, very close heat between these two guys.
Okay, both guns are good.
Okay, very close matchup between those two. 20.01 after adjustment for Poisson and 20.26 for Courteau after adjustment. And it was a nice heat, actually. We saw a real good start for both of them. You could see Pierre-Louis Poisson, he got that saw going right away. He got that dance going right away, and he kept that saw moving. Adrien Courteau struggled a little bit at the top of his cut, and it was Pierre-Louis Poisson who struggled a little bit at the bottom of his cut. So between the two of these guys, pretty evenly matched up there.
And the two strongest competitors still to come with Pierre Pubaré and Loic Vincent.
Yep.
And I have to repeat myself, it's all about collecting those points and not just going through to the third round and the hot saw, but just having enough points so you can go in there comfortably, not with all that pressure, because we know what happens to people who are under pressure and doing the hot saw.
You also have to remember, too, that the higher up you are after the second round, it's in reverse order of the results of the second round. So you get to, if you're in first or second position after the second round, then you get to watch and see what the other guys have done, and you know if you really have to focus or if you can kind of doodle your way through the hot saw.
That's a nice wording.
And there you can see those spiked shoes. Great view from our camera angle there for Loic. Now, Loic's personal best is around 20 seconds, 20.14. Pierre Puy-Barré is an absolute master at this discipline at 11.58, not far off the world record, which currently sits at 10.47.
3, 2, 1, go!
And right away you can see Pierre Puy-Barré getting into it with a super smooth flow. Loic Poisson going for a little bit more pace on his cuts. Pierre Puy-Barré getting to the bottom of that one. Oh my goodness, and there's that tab we talked about, 14.77 for Pierre Puy-Barré. Loic Poisson has to reset the saw and cut through the bottom of that tab that he had the cutout on, or the broken cookie. He needs a complete cookie on the deck, and he's done it, but that cost him a lot of time, and that puts him at the bottom of the ranking list for single buck, and that is not going to bode well for his points coming towards this next round.
And with this win, just like you predicted, Pierre Puy-Barré is back on top again.
Yes. So let's take a look back at this again, and you can see the absolute skill level for both of these guys. But on Loic Poisson, and he got to about the 3/4 mark of his cookie, and he twisted his saw and broke off the top part of his cookie. So what happened there is he needed to reset the saw in position, and we should see it here any second now. As yep, there the saw got stuck, it bowed away, broke the bottom of the cookie off. You could see a little bit of panic in his eyes, but then he calmly set the saw in place, made sure that it was lined up, and had the cut. And meanwhile, it was done and dusted for Pierre Puy-Barré on the other side of the stage. And here, it was just about making sure that he got the rest of that cookie cut off so that the judges could puzzle those two pieces together and make sure that there was a complete one on the deck.
And you really have to stay calm. For me, this will be horrific.
Oh yeah, my heart would be beating hard.
So here we have the results of the single buck. As mentioned before, Puy-Barré claiming those 16 points. Maurice going home with 14, and Pagin with 12 points. And that, of course, brings some changes in the overall standings. Puy-Barré now up there with 45 points. That's a 9-point lead to Maurice, and Poisson and Poiseau still there in top position, but it's going to be tough. They're going to have to collect some points.
So Poisson has an opportunity here to get up there, 10 points back of Pierre Puy-Barré. Alexander Maurice just a few points back of Puy-Barré, but you notice that Alexander Maurice went from 5th position up into 2nd position after this discipline, as coming out of the single buck with the 14 points. So, I mean, he's got himself in a good spot now. Now, coming up next is the discipline that is the cat's meow, or if you're not a cat fan, it is finicky, because it is the springboard. And boy, I tell you, this discipline is a mind bender if you really look at all that's happening. Before we get into that description, let's take a look at the tool and discipline for springboard.
No, I think we can take a closer look at the wood itself that we're talking about.
This is good too.
Because we do a lot of chopping, we do a lot of sawing, but very often we get the question, where does that wood end up? Where does it come from? And we have an answer to all these questions.
Trees.
Yes, it's much more than just trees. Take a look.
STIHL Timbersports is an international extreme sports competition series featuring 6 disciplines: 3 chopping and 3 sawing. We have a premier competition, we need premier wood. biggest challenges that I face as part of my role is to ensure that our competitions are supplied with the highest quality wood.
Each individual tree is examined for its conformation before processing. We need to make it fair for all athletes. So we are selecting different sections of the trees to use for each of our specific disciplines.
Once the trees are felled, extracted and transported to our facilities, we measure, mark and then cut the wood into sized blocks. We then peel the blocks ready for competition. After careful selection, the blocks then leave our yard and are distributed internationally to our STIHL TIMBERSPORTS competitions.
So as you can see, the developments over the last 40 years has not only been one with athletes, with technology, but also the wood.
Also the wood, yeah. I mean, we do have really fair competition wood. Same wood goes around the world for these competitions. And then, you know, a lot of people will say, well, isn't it kind of, you know, in our current state, don't we want to have, you know, the environment thought about a little bit? Should we make fake wood to cut or something like that, or digital wood or something like that? Well, no. I mean, we do a lot of things to make sure that this wood is managed and sustainably used up. And you see out here after the events, there's wood dust and chips and blocks everywhere. Well, it is used efficiently. Let's take a quick look at how we use this wood after the competition is done.
We as STIHL TIMBERSPORTS pride ourselves that all wood is sustainably grown, harvested and recycled to minimise the overall amount of wood processed. Firstly, this popular wood is grown on certified plantations. Secondly, the white pine for our sawing disciplines is only sourced from certified forest management. After all our STIHL competitions, all the spent wood is collected and recycled right down to the wood chips and sawdust, which, for example, is converted into renewable energy in the form of wood pellets for biomass. We quest to find certified partners. This ensures that all newly planted trees are nurtured and managed, promoting maximum efficiency and sustainability for the future conservation of our valuable forests.
Therefore, as you can see, with good harvesting practices and good management with silviculture, the ground is quickly replaced by new trees, or could even be used for arable for farmers and future rotations.
Sustainability, that was the word we were looking for.
That's the word.
and now we have Bart Janssen with us, one of the judges. You've been with STIHL TIMBERSPORTS for quite some time. How would you see all the development? It's not talk about the athletes, but talking about the wood. Big differences.
Oh, yeah, the wood. Yeah, I'm in it for 25 years. And the wood was the biggest topic ever, this timber sports. And I remember my first wood delivery in Munich. We had a lot of knots, and the athletes were running behind me with axes. So I did not feel really well. It's not a joke. It really happened in 2002. And I didn't feel well. And now we're learning. This year, we're pretty luxury. We have really good wood. You can see it. We have hundreds of records this year. It's amazing soft. We didn't see any knots. We can see in whole what was something in and was overgrown, but no knots, no big knots. And the sawing wood is extremely quick. We saw today a world record. I don't know why this happens. It was a really good cut from Roger Gerin today. We saw more this year. And we have a lot of questions in our head. Why this happens? Why because we want to have records every time, but it's not working like that. You cannot switch it on and switch it off.
Based on what we've seen so far, do you predict as we head towards the World Championships that we might have more records, or maybe even a couple of world records at the World Championships? I know it's hard to say, yeah, for sure it's going to happen, but you know, what are your thoughts on that? My thoughts on that are pretty clear. In the sawing wood, I don't expect world records, not for stock saw, because it's indoor. We don't have enough air. Single buck is possible. Hot saw. We saw Nathan last week in USA with a new hot saw world record. When he's coming over,
You never know.
Anything is
Because
possible,
he
right, with
tells
this guy?
that Poplar is quicker than White Point, so we will see. I hope he can do it. But first he has to be at the last round. But he is the world champion at the moment. So yeah, there's a chance. The chopping wood this year, yes, I expect world records.
Okay.
But so many details you have to think about. You said, okay, it's indoor, so it makes a big difference to being outdoor. It's like the humidity, the weather, the way that the trees have been grown. And I'm always surprised how much detail goes into a steel timber sports competition.
It's unbelievable. I can talk hours about it. and athletes tell me, yeah, last year you said it was great wood, and this year say it again. I said, no. This year, 2025, is the best wood I know in the last 17, 18 years.
Oh, seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
All right, let's take a look really quickly at this world record from Rocher Jehan. And maybe, because I know how I saw it from my perspective, maybe from your perspective, being part of the wood management as well, you could tell us a little bit about how you saw the cuts go for Roger.
His start was not that quick, but in the wood it's flying. We did take off 10 centimeters from that block. The change was good. It's amazing quick.
And it's a very thin second cookie as well. It's risky thin.
Both cookies were not more than 1 centimeter, but they were complete.
So I think one of the first things that Troy taught me was thin to win. And obviously it worked this time.
Every movement costs time. So when you go 1 centimeter, you go 5 centimeters, it's time. It's all about the clock.
Wow.
But he had the perfect RPM. It was not that block was quicker than the other one, because you see different runs, and next round block number 2 was quicker, then again that one. So yeah, he was really lucky, but I don't promise that we'll beat it again.
Well, 7 and change is a really tough world record, because the previous world record by Ole Magnus Suljeberget from Norway stood for a long time. 2021 was when he received that record or achieved that record, and now we've just broken it again in 2025. Are we going to have to wait another 4 years, you think, or tough call?
Maybe longer.
Oh, wow, and that coming from you, Bart. But there's one more thing I really want to talk about, and that's technology. When we see, the video judge getting involved, and then so many, is there anything that has not been taken care of so far? Is there any situation that you as a judge fear on stage that might be happening where you cannot find a solution? Or do you think everything is covered at the moment?
I think we're pretty close to cover everything.
Cool.
We have a lot of technology. We have the competition control center. We have 4 or 5 cameras on deck, so 2 cameras per person, 100 frames per second. When I see something, we have communication set. We ask it inside, and they can look and look and look and look, replay it.
Yeah.
So you have only, you do this with your eyes, and that's it. But when you can replay it, and then
different story.
In a split second, we have it back on our phones. You see it. Yeah.
But we talk to the athletes a lot of the time when we get the chance, and it seems like they all think this is a perfect system and everything works. So everybody gets out there and knows, okay, this is going to be a fair competition, and I feel comfortable. And I can just focus on competing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we changed a lot in 20 years. I mean, look in the normal world, what all changed with apps and things. So we had also to develop.
All right, so speaking of development, we're at a point now where we're seeing high-level athlete training, a lot of warming up beforehand. Like I mentioned before, it's not a beer and a cigarette before they go up on stage to do their heats. Where do you see the sport progressing from here, or is it hit a pinnacle yet and it's going to stay this way for a while, or do you think we can see how it's going to progress, and where is that progression going to come from?
I expect that we will progress because we are now in the next generations. And then already the next generations. So when we started in 2001 in Europe, there was not a lot of knowledge. You have some countries like UK or Spain where was wood chopping normal. But I'm from the Netherlands, there was nothing with wood chopping.
Yeah, sure.
And in Switzerland there was a little bit more, and in Germany was a little bit less. But now, only in France here, they have 9 clubs. And they do a lot of competitions. So it's the next level will born in those clubs.
All right.
Well, Bart, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you for those detailed informations, and we are ready to find out who's going to be on top of the French National Championship this year.
You're welcome, and enjoy the last 2 events.
Oh.
We got to see who gets on top of the tree first, though, right?
But it's always the hot saw.
Oh, it's always the hot saw.
You know.
Yes.
The maker or the breaker, yeah, right.
So let's see, I've just been told we can take a look at the timber sports competitions that are coming up in 2025. So there's a lot happening. Look at that, many things to enjoy. 7th of June, 14th of June, 28th of June, 26th of July. This is absolutely fantastic. For all updates and full schedule, of course, you just need to visit STIHL-Timbersports.com, and that's where you get to see where something is happening. But Troy, that's quite a number.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of events happening throughout the year, and I mean, you know, it continues to grow and grow and grow, and as we just heard from Bart Jansen, the sport is progressing, and we're going to see those progressions and those developments inside the clubs. But before we get on with that, we need to get on with the competition here. And I mentioned this kitty cat, this finicky discipline that's coming up next. That is the springboard. Let's take a look at the format here.
Springboard. Springboard simulates the traditional way of felling trees, climbing up over thick roots. First, notches known as pockets are chopped into the log. 2 springboards are then anchored into these pockets. The athlete then climbs up to chop through a 27-centimeter thick block of wood in the fastest time possible.
This is a great competition, and to get those insights from Bart's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's very interesting because he really is an insider in this sport, because he is developing the wood, making sure that the wood is sustainably managed with his team and everybody. And you know, it's from a deep sense of knowledge that he brings that information forward to us.
And of course, here is the heats for the springboards. Oh my word, this is going to be a classic. Meyer against Pagan, Godin versus Maurice, Poiseau versus Coteau, and then we have Dubarret against Vincent. And this might already a bit of a, I'm not going to say decider, but I am going to say decider, Troy, for me.
Yeah,
for me.
I mean,
I know you see it differently, but
I have a different opinion on this, and you know, a lot of people say that the hot saw is the maker or the breaker. They've actually nicknamed it the maker or the breaker, but in my opinion, this is really the maker or breaker, because this is the discipline is going to make your day or ruin your day. If you don't get through this discipline, if you get a DQ here because you went over the time, if something happens like a wrenching DQ or whatever, there's so many different things that can happen here that just make it a nightmare for these athletes, and they don't get into the top 6, then the maker or breaker is really, you know. So for me, this is the discipline that really sets the athletes apart. Now, they got to get to the top of this tree and chop off that top block, just like a standing block chop, on a springy board. If they don't get those boards set in position correctly, if they're saggy, then that changes the dynamic of how they can hit when they're up there. And let's not forget, you're 2 meters off the ground holding a razor-sharp axe that's heavy in your hand. You don't want that thing slipping out and you falling down those 2 meters. You know, you've really got to be on point with this whole discipline, and everything needs to come together exactly right.
so we're not that far away, because I also feel this is like the original extreme sports main discipline somehow.
3, 2, 1, go!
And you know, the heavier the athletes are, the more I like to see them on top of that springboard.
All right, Ellie's got himself a 6-hit pocket there, and he is up onto that first board, and it is a solid board, looking very good. Julien Meyer, he is now looking at about a 10-hit pocket, but he doesn't like the way that pocket is formed, so he's going to go back and do a little bit of house cleaning. Now, this is where a problem will set in for Julien Meyer, because he's not even on that first board yet, and Elie Pageant has set his second board. Now, Elie has obviously been working hard at this discipline, because you can see he's got a steep angle on that board, and the tooth on the end of that board has really bitten in. It's taken purchase, so he's got the optimal position to be able to step step out onto the back of that board and really turn that, you know, push off that back leg, twist those hips, use that core power and the power in his legs to drive into that block at the top. Julian Meyer now trying to set that second pocket, and we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds for these guys to complete this discipline, and we're already past the minute mark here. So, you know, it is a very, very difficult discipline to become good at and then to become proficient at. Elie Pageant looking good here. He's on that top block. And it's very tiring too. Let's not forget, they got to cut that bottom pocket. They got to cut that second pocket. They got to get up top there. And then they got to feel comfortable on the top block. Now, here's what I was talking about with Julian Meyer, yeah? That second board is completely parallel, but there's a light bit of sag. He's not feeling confident on it, so he has stepped very far forward on the board so as not to sag the board even more. But by stepping farther forward on the board, he's got to choke up on the axe to get himself a better hitting angle, and that means that he's not putting as much power into those drivers. Meanwhile, Elie Pageant is already on the awkward angle on the second side and cutting through from that backside. Now, he might have left himself a little bit too much material on that front side. He could have cut through a bit deeper, but he's already worked on the backside, so now that he's back there, he might as well just continue on through.
Oh, this must be so tiring.
Ooh. Yeah, very, very tiring. It's extremely tiring, and both of these guys are winding down, coming close to that cutoff moment here. Elie Pageant's got to get it done. He's done it, 2:24.54. So he's got himself the time, and that is going to be a DQ for Julian Meyer, and you can see he was absolutely gutted, out of breath at the top there. He just didn't have any more. He stopped at the 2:28 mark, and he couldn't go any further. That is how difficult this discipline really is. And the one thing that I'm really, really impressed is that they've started with the rookies. The rookies are now required to learn how to do this discipline with a single board. So rather than get to the pros and then have to learn this the hard way, they're starting to learn at the early age and the rookie academy how to do the springboard so they can be proficient when they get to be a pro.
On this time, because it was out of time, and a good cut on this time.
So Elie Pageant will be happy about that cut. It's not his best time. You can see 2:24.22 is nearly a minute slower than his best time. And Julian Meyer had a 2:22.21 best time, so he has done it in the past, but because his first pocket really wasn't where he wanted it to be, he struggled to get it cleaned out. Like I said, he went back and did some housekeeping, and then he got up there finally, but by the time he got up there, it was just too late. And this is precisely what I was talking about. We talked about, you know, you don't want to have that DQ because of a timeout. This is what's happened with Julian Meyer. And Julian Meyer, prior to this, was fairly high up in the rankings, and now he is in 8th place. So he is literally out of it here.
No points collected.
No points collected, and he is not going to be among the top 6 that's going on to the next round. So that's going to be one guy that we won't be seeing anymore. And you can see right there, that is a deep breath and a little bit of a breath of, oh my God, thanks very much.
And I'm very sure he thought exactly what you just mentioned. I am collecting some points. My chances of going through to the hot saw in round number 3 are still there. Corentin Godin and Alex Maurice, the next 2 athletes. Yeah, springboards. That's a special one. Alex, because of his physique, you would have to think has a bit of an advantage, not being that heavy.
He is I wouldn't call him light. He's compact, yeah? So he has the advantage of not being among the weight class 100 kilo plus, which a lot of these guys are. And you know that Alex has been training on this. His personal best time is just over a minute. So I would not be at all surprised to see Alex Maurice end up under a minute here today. And if he can do that, he will set himself up very well for that next round. Now, Corentin Godin, this is his first time doing the springboard in competition. So if he can get anything under the 2:30, it's going to be a personal best for him. I haven't seen any clips of him doing the springboard, so I don't know where he is at. So really, for me, it's about seeing him, how he starts this competition off. to get an impression of what kind of a springboard athlete he is.
Atlas, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Four-hit pocket for Alex Maurice. That's very good.
Wow.
That's ideal. Nine hits for Alex on the second. It was 10, 12 hits for Corentin Godin on that first pocket, but Alex is looking good. He's up on that top block and working at it at the 30-second mark, so it's a possibility for him, but he's got to have like a 30-second cut through this standing block, more or less, on top of that springboard, but he's got a good board.
Angle's not too bad, yeah.
Angle's not too bad, and he's working at it well, chipping away nicely. Corentin, he set that board very far away. The amount of reach that he's got to get to the board is really long. You can see how gingerly he is testing that board as Alex Maurice has gone to the second side here. He's gone past the minute mark here, so he's not going to have his personal best time, but he may well have the fastest time of the day, and he has done it. 1:06.19, and that leaves a minute and 15 seconds now for Corentin Godin to get through that top block. Now you can see there's a bit of nervousness in his hits. He's really close to the board and to the block, I mean. He's got his back foot, but you can see he's very, very static on that springboard. He's mostly using his arms and shoulders to do the hits. You know, you can't see any rotational or push off of that back foot, so the power is just not there to really get those chips out properly for Corentin. So rounding on the 2-minute mark here, he's looking okay. He might well do it in under the 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Alex Maurice giving him some support from the other side there. Struggling because it looks like that board is starting to sag on him a bit now.
Oh my word, that's going to be a close call.
Yeah, 15 seconds to go for Corentin. He's getting lots of support from the fan club out in the audience here. He's gone nice and deep on that first side, so he's got to switch that second side quickly, and he's going to do it right here, but I don't think he's going to do it in 3 seconds. There's no chance. In fact, he's gone over time, and that is unfortunate. He took a moment there to talk to somebody on the sidelines and looked a bit nervous, and unfortunately for Corentin Godin, that is a DQ, so that's 2 DQs for exceeding the time limit in Springboard so far, and Alex Maurice has the fastest time of the day with a 1:05.96, and Corentin getting lots of encouragement from the fans in the audience here that are on his side.
It is such a tough competition.
Okay, unfortunately we have a DQ here because it was out of time, and a good cut on this stand.
Okay, so that's an unfortunate DQ for Godin. Corentin Godin, that's going to be 0 points for the DQ, but this is a learning experience, and every time you step out onto the stage and do that springboard, you learn and you take that into the next round. So the crew comes out on stage as we take a look at the slow-mos here, and you can see Alex Maurice with a 4-hit pocket on that first board. That was ideal. He took nine hits to get the second pocket play, so if he can clean that second pocket up a bit and get up there in 4 to 6 hits, then he'll take off about 4 seconds in his overall time. And then you can see here, he was feeling good, pushing off that back foot, really using the rotation of his hips to get the power into those drivers. And well, he was 3/4 of the way, almost all the way through that first side, is when Corentin Godin joined him on that top board. And yep, there was a nice finishing cut from Alex Maurice. So great job by him. Needs to clean up that second pocket, and he'll be under a minute in no time flat.
Impressive, but really, really tough. And
Yeah.
of course, Troy, we always talk about these disciplines and the overseas teams.
Right.
They are experts. Why?
Well, I mean, they chop a little bit or a slightly harder wood over there. They're crazy, you know, the New Zealanders and the Australians.
Aussies, you name 'em.
I mean, they've been their teams have been dominant for the last 5 to 6 years and longer. You know, between the two of them, I don't think anybody else has even come close to beating them in the team competitions. And they're just incredible athletes. You know, they really focus on it. They've got camps and trainings and teams and groups and clubs, and they're always just in the mix and everything. It's a really fun thing to watch because there's a lot of athletes that actually travel from Europe and from North America to go down to New Zealand and Australia and train in our winter.
And I think that was one of the reasons that a camera team from STIHL TIMBERSPORTS followed Team New Zealand last year as they came over for the World Championship in Toulouse. And the whole thing is called Behind the Chop and will be available on live stream YouTube very, very soon. We've got a bit of a teaser for you coming up right now. This is what it looks like behind the chop.
I think we've just had a great culture over the years. Got some really good individuals. And together we've always got on really, really well.
Stay up! Stay up! You know, real legends of the sport. You know, absolute pioneers of STIHL Timbersports.
Accelerator, brake. Come on.
Turn the cameras off, this is embarrassing.
The team always being super close.
They're like a family.
But yeah, they get along really well and yeah, have fun doing it.
Hey, Bobby, where are you?
Australia would be our biggest rival.
Two teams that know each other very well.
To win, you got to put the hard work in at home, and that's what motivates me the most, to want to win, yeah.
On competition day, it's all about focus, getting the job done.
Come on, Shane! Come on, mate! Your corner and go! Come on, mate! Hard! Hard, Shane! Come on, mate!
Kyle Lemon is back in the team. He's our stock sawyer. Jack Jordan, who's our underhand cutter. Bobby Dowling is our single sawyer.
Freeze, mate, freeze!
Shane Jordan as our standing block cutter.
Sorry, mate. Chin up, chin up, chin up. Competing with the Jordan brothers. We don't need to say much about them. Kyle Lemon, with a chainsaw in his hand, he's a real legend of the sport. You're in now, no, you're in! It's a real privilege to be up on that stage with those three men.
Good cut, good cut. Well done. Fuck, that was an awkward handshake.
So we have just over 2 minutes until we start into the next heat. That gives me the chance, Troy, to ask you a few more questions, especially taking a look at Springboard and the development. I mean, we know New Zealand, Australia, also Canada and the USA, they've always been very, very strong. And that's something that we're trying, or we've been seeing many, many European countries trying to get close to. Do you think the gap has been getting smaller over the last few years?
It's definitely gotten smaller over the last few years, but what a lot of people don't understand is the Springboard was developed in North America primarily because back then in those logging countries like Northern Canada and you know, Northern America, you know, they had to get up past the branches and stuff to get to those big tall trees to cut off the top and then be able to work their way down, cutting off the branches and so on. So, you know, they have the advantage, and they also hold the last 4 or 5 years, they've held the world record in this discipline. But yes, the gap is definitely closing. Now that we've got the competition style Springboard here, we're seeing that the guys are focusing more on their targeting for those pockets to make sure they get a 4, maximum 6-hit pocket, get that board in place, move up, do the same thing on that second board. Because really, setting those pockets and getting up and starting to work on that top block are the critical aspects of this discipline.
That's why I always see you counting.
Yeah, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I'm trying to do 2 counts at the same time. I'm not a math guy, right? So,
no, but you manage. Yeah. I always watch the slow-mos closely to be able to tell you, yeah, you missed one of those, but you don't. Yeah. You never.
No,
really, you always hit it.
Yeah, but it's an interesting thing because the other aspect is then, you know, once you've got your pocket set, getting that board in place, if you've got a bit of a sag in the board or if the board starts to move down on you like this, then you tend to move in on the board towards the tree stand. And what happens there is you're holding up higher on the axe, you're cutting with less power, you're using just your shoulders or your upper body to make the swings. And so that gets tiring fast and you're not getting the power into the hits that you need.
And Pierre-Louis Poisson and Adrien Courteau are already in position for heat number 3. And hopefully they will think of 1 or 2 things that you just mentioned, because that's going to give them a good chance of claiming a good time and some more points for the overall.
Yeah. I mean, these are 2 big guys. You know, they're not massive gentlemen. You know, you could see there, Adrien Courteau, he's a slight man. Pierre-Louis Poisson, he's got a little bit more weight behind him. So let's see. All right, Adrien Courteau, I believe that was about 8 hits to get that pocket set. Moving into the position, Pierre-Louis Poisson was already up top on his board and getting his second pocket set. Both of them are definitely hitting above the 8 mark for their pockets. So this is, again, something they're going to want to improve on. And you can see Adrien Courteau getting that second board in place. Nice purchase on the toe of the board there. That tooth is really dug in. You can see a little bit of sag, and he's got to be careful now because he's got his back foot and he's starting to sag some more. Now he's got to really be aware of that sagging. Now you can see he's stepping towards the tree stand a little bit as the board starts to move out of the pocket. So he's got to be careful to make sure that that board doesn't slip away on him and he ends up falling down to the ground. Pierre-Louis Poisson, he's got a nice parallel board, but again, you can see the hips on Pierre-Louis Poisson are pretty static, you know. He's got safety hips going on there. He's not swinging them and pushing off that back leg because he doesn't feel confident, obviously, on that board. And the Adrien Courteau board, it is sagging even more, and it's almost looking like it's slipping out of that spot. So he's got to be really aware that for a safety aspect, that board does not come out on him altogether.
But I'm quite confident that both athletes are going to make it before time runs out.
I think so. It looks like Pierre-Louis Poisson is actually, yep, he started on that second side. He's dug through deep on the first side, and you could see how Adrien Courteau is really struggling, and that board is going to come out on him if he's not careful.
Dear.
So, yeah, he just doesn't, he doesn't have any leverage at all. Oh, and that, again, a dangerous situation. That board sagged and came out, and he's going to have to replace that board. And by this point in time, he is in a literal fight for his life to try and make sure that he's got himself something that he can work on up top as the time continues to run away on him. It's 15 seconds to go, and I don't believe this is going to happen for him at all. But he is a battler, and he is going to try and get up there and do those last couple of hits to try and make it within 5 seconds. It is going to be a very, 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 very tight call here, but I don't think it's going to happen. And no, it does not happen for Adrien Courteau. And I think I know what the problem was there, Floaty. If we take a look in the slow-mo later on, the angle of his pocket was down, it wasn't flat. So what happened is his board was sitting in at an angle and started to twist out and sag out. So this is what I saw. We'll have to see in the slow-mo what actually happened there. But you know, you could see right there the dangerous situation. The board started to sag out. He had to hold on to the top of the block in order to be able to come down onto the lower board. Then the lower board gave away when he put the landing pressure on it. So a really unfortunate situation.
And you got that axe in your hands, you know, with the razor-sharp blade. Oh, wow.
So Pierre-Louis Poisson with a nice time, 1:52.63, so second fastest of the day so far, and that is 3 times in the books and 3 DQs, which is making this competition very interesting here.
That will be 14 points for Pierre-Louis Poisson. You know, that could give him a massive push.
Correct. So let's see if we get a picture maybe of that upper pocket from Adrien Courteau and just how much angle there was there. You could see, he had... So you could see the cut was flat there, but there was a little bit of an angle. Maybe I was just seeing things, but you could see it was a constant drip. It was like, you know, a slow leak in a tire. You know, you're driving down the road, and then all of a sudden you got a flat tire 500 miles later. This is what's happened to him here. And then when he tried to come down onto the second board, then that went away on him. And that's a dangerous situation because he scraped his arm up on the way down, and he's got the other axe in his hand, right? So, you know,
not a situation you want to be in.
Not at all, but he was with it in his head enough to say, okay, I got to hold on to this axe and be wary of it. So it was a great job by him to keep that safety aspect in mind, because had he dropped that axe, 1, it's an automatic DQ for safety, and 2, he could have damaged a very expensive tool.
So one more heat before we head over to the hot saw and round number 3. And that is Pierre Puybarré taking on Loïc Vincent, the top 2 in the overall standing so far, at least after the last disciplines. And yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to see, because Maurice, with his good time, has taken the top spot for the moment with a total of 52 points. Poisson with 46 and Puybarré with 45 points at the moment before they go into this final discipline. So that's going to be quite an interesting one. Tactically, how would you approach this heat?
If you're Loïc Vincent, balls out. You just have to go for it.
Okay.
I mean, his best time is 2 minutes, 2 seconds and change. And for sure, he's improved on this. He's slightly lighter than Pierre Puybarré. So, yeah, let's see if he can do it. Pierre Puybarré, I mean, if he could do it under a minute, he's going to be the guy, right? But we'll see.
I mean, he's done it before.
So it's a 6-hit pocket for Pierre Puybarré. Loïc Vincent still working on that pocket. He's at about 10, 11 hits now. Finally cleans it out and gets that board in place. Puybarré, 25 seconds to get that second board in place and get up onto the top. So this is looking very good for Pierre Puybarré. Whether or not he can get through there in under 1 minute and 5 seconds now is the question, because he's got to get through that top block in about 30 seconds time. And as we've seen today, that's been pretty difficult, but he's got a pretty good board. You know, I don't know how confident he's feeling on that board, because he's about halfway in with his back foot, and he could theoretically step farther back with that back foot and give himself more leverage. And you can actually use the spring of the board to your advantage. Now, he's not going to do it. He's at the 1 minute and 3 second mark here as he switches to the other side.
But
so
I think
Alexander
he's playing
Maurice,
it safe. He just wants to get that second position.
Yeah, he's got the second position locked up now, but Alexander Maurice is the winner of the springboard, so that's a good thing. Now, Loïc Vincent is going to try and get there in under 2 minutes here as he is working on that top block. It took him quite a while to get up onto that second board and really start working at it. But now he seems to have got himself a good board. It's a nice angle.
And he needs a time under 1:52.63 to end up in third position.
Yes,
which
he does.
Would be so much nicer than giving away those extra points and ending up in fourth. And I think that's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone deep on that first side. Now he's going to switch over to that awkward angle. So this should get him through in a fairly decent time. I don't think it's going to be the 152, but I think it's going to be pretty close to his usual time, which is 2:02. He's got 2:03.41. So he is in fourth place in the springboard. That puts him in third place in the overall. So we'll see him in the hot saw now. And he is still in striking distance, but it's going to be a tough job. So really, this competition has come down to 2 gentlemen. Once again, it's Alex Maurice and Pierre Puybarré.
Wow.
cuts are good.
All right, so Pierre Puy-Barré moves back into the top spot. Alex Maurice, with his win in Springboard, has a solid second place and 52 points. So Loïc Voisin with 45 points. The only thing I could see happening here is if both Pierre Puy-Barré and Alex Maurice DQ in the hot saw. That's the only option or the only opportunity for Loïc Voisin or Pierre-Louis Poisson to get a win. Well, you can see here Loïc Voisin. He's clearly feeling better about this discipline every time he gets out there and he does it. And as I said, this discipline is really, it's about experience. You know, the more experience you have, the more confidence you have, the better your boards become, the more confidence you have. And as soon as that confidence level is at a point where you're like, okay, let's go on that top block, you get up there quick and you cut clean and you're good to go.
So let's take another look at the discipline Springboard and our top athletes here. Maurice, Puy-Barré, Poisson, Voisin, Pagin, Meyer, Godin and Courton. That's 0 points for Meyer and Godin, Courton, because they got a DQ, and 16 points for Maurice. Puy-Barré collecting 14, Poisson 12, and Voisin 10. That gives us an overall standing with Puy-Barré leading by 7. So
which is not much, given that there's 18 points up for grabs in this next discipline. And Puy-Barré has never been
he doesn't like
super strong in this discipline. He hates this discipline, in fact.
That's not a nice way of saying it, but it's the truth.
It's the truth.
If you talk to him, he's such a nice guy until you mention the hot sauce.
Yeah, and then
we are mad now.
Oh, my goodness.
That of course, makes this still very, very challenging and super exciting. We started off with saying Alex or Pierre, and this is where it ends up with the hot sauce. So we can be really, really pleased with how this has been going so far.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to make any predictions, to be honest.
Tough call. I mean, really, last year we saw this same trajectory between these two gentlemen. They got to this very same position, and Alex was just a hair faster. So it could well pass that it happens this way again. But let's not forget, this is another finicky system. We have a high-performance saw that these guys have to work with. They are very, very difficult sometimes. You know, if you don't have everything exactly right on the day of competition, it won't start. You got to rewrap the string. It won't start again. You got to rewrap the string. You got to check all of the parameters of this saw before getting going. And then once it's going, you got 15 centimeters to make 3 cuts in, right? That is not much. 15 centimeters is nothing when you think about all the things that are happening at the same time with this saw. They're heavy. They're 35 to 40 kilograms. I'm not a super weak guy. I lifted one up and I was sweating after 2 seconds, right? You know, and then
you need to control that
power. You have to control it. You have to cut with it, and all the movement, the centrifugal force. There's so much going on.
And the points, 18, 15, 12. You know, that's
exactly. There's so much going on. So the reality is, clean cuts, you're good to go. The possibility though is our first 2 guys, Pierre Puy-Barré and Alex Maurice, might not get their saw started if they don't get clean cuts on the deck and they're DQ'd. That leaves the gate wide open for Loïc Voisin, who just needs to have 3 on the deck and he's good to go.
So long story short, everything and anything is still possible. This is the discipline hot saw.
The maker or the breaker. Ooh.
These custom, handmade race-tuned machines are built for maximum power and precision and to cut the wood as fast as possible in a competition. They are built with a 60 to 80 horsepower single-cylinder 2-stroke engine, often taken from a snowmobile or high-powered motorbike. The hot saw can weigh up to 30 kilograms and its chain rotates at over 250 kilometers an hour. The cost of a competition hot saw used in STIHL Timbersports is upward of €6,000. hot saw. For the hot saw, power saws are called into action, and the athletes have a space of 15 centimeters to cut 3 complete discs off a 46 centimeter thick wooden block. Jumping the start or cutting over the line will result in a disqualification.
Back in the studio. Yes,
and we're just going to hear in the background the hot saws are starting to get warmed up, right? So the beach is that way, hot saw is that way, the noise is that way. It's
you can see he's having a great time and getting ready for the next discipline that's going to start in 6 minutes. And I mean, you're a gas head, you know, you just love this.
Yeah.
And I think if I take a closer look at everyone in the audience, you can see those smiles, those happy faces. This is a discipline that everybody's waiting for.
Yes.
And then it's over so fast. This is what always, I don't know, kind of excites me, but makes me sad a bit as well, because it's just boom, gone. You know, you lift those machines, you cut those 3 cookies and done.
Danny Martin held the world record for a short period of time. Nate Hodges recently broke the world record again for a second time. And the hot saw world record, 4.28 seconds. That's bananas.
It is.
Sorry. I mean, that's crazy.
And these under 5 seconds, or maybe around 5 seconds, they will decide who's going to be the French national champion. They might even decide who's going to go to the World Championship in Milano. So there is a lot of pressure on the shoulders of every single athlete that's competing in this discipline.
Yeah, and also their mechanics, because, you know, if their machines aren't working well, there's going to be a slap on the back of the hand of one of the mechanics. So
it's not just going to be a slap on the back of the these guys know that this is a maker or a breaker. We've talked about this a lot of time. There's been a lot of drama in big competitions.
Yes.
And taking a closer look at Alex and Pierre, who are the main contenders for winning this championship. One of them hates the hot saw. The other one kind of likes it.
I don't know if you could say that either of them really love this discipline.
I didn't say love.
You know?
It's kind of like
it's a love. It's a love-hate. You know, they love to win it, but they hate to lift the saw off the ground. I mean, both of these guys would rather say, no, I wish I didn't have to do this discipline. But Pierre in particular is like, I don't like this discipline at all. I mean, both of them are resigned to doing what they need to do. And quite honestly, both of them do a fantastic job. I mean, they both cut around average 6 seconds mark, you know, and that's pretty quick when you think of what's happening in those machines. They're very good. So, you know, it's really going to come down to who can make sure that their machine is hot at the right time and ready to go and starts as desired.
And just to give you a bit of a feeling what it means to lift one of those machines in a situation like this, here's the maker or the breaker video.
This is the one and only discipline where the athletes are alone on stage.
Yeah, probably the most important event, but yeah, also the most frustrating.
These saws are so incredibly powerful and dangerous.
Usually the hot saw is the decider.
Hot saw, hot saw.
Like I can't describe to you when we're out there under pressure.
Saw starts well, first disc looks solid, cut is good.
You know, you're always ending the competition on a hot saw, so you know where you're going to be at when you finish. So you're either at a real big high or just is what it is.
Nice clean cut, easy, relaxed.
Der Hot Saw ist für mich die geilste Disziplin der Welt.
5, 6, 8, Robert Abner, 3 on the deck.
Hot saw is a love-hate for me. I honestly don't get that much enjoyment out of it. I'm not a motorhead. I swallow my pills and eat it.
Once the competition comes, anything can happen. Oh no, a false start by Sterling Hart. What a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disappointment for me. Happens though, it's part of competing.
I saw there's 3 good discs there, but then let that nose come right up underneath the crossover line.
Fortunately, a disqualification.
It all relies on the hot saw.
Oh no.
Irgendwie soll es einfach nicht sein. Und dann springt die Hot Saw nicht an, wieder mal.
Oh man, that is a bummer for Robert Ebner.
what are you taking away from this event?
Oh, probably last place. I don't know, headache. Yeah, shiratsu. What else do you want?
If you have bad luck or if you did wrong, it's sport. Just your experience.
Oh my goodness! What an absolute disaster! The chain came off.
I was not disappointed because everybody see that I can be with the guys in front.
It was a bit of a disaster, so it was just operator error, and I didn't perform as well as I would have liked to.
Nice safe cut.
Oh no! Oh no! Never prepared for that situation, but luckily it started and I got 3 wheels and now I'm the world champion.
Yeah, it's the make or break event, you know.
I think you love it and you hate it.
Das ist eigentlich immer ein geiles Ding. Ich schneide immer sehr sicher.
Oh, great start for both of these guys. Look at how quick it's going for Robert Ebner. Oh my God, Robert Ebner, he's got a world record. Holy smokes, folks.
Ich wollte das Ding heimbringen, ich wollte Weltrekord schneiden und ich danke meiner Familie zu Hause und alle, die mich unterstützt haben.
Just try to make 3 good cuts and no disqualification.
The hot saw is where it's all won, so that's the best event.
Not a lot to add, but telling you what the hot saw heats look like, and that is Adrien Courteau, we have Elie Pagin, then Pierre-Louis Poisson and Loic Vincent, and finally Alexandre Meurice and Pierre Puybarret.
You can see the Adrien Courteau, his best time 7:02. That is a respectable time with a hot saw.
For sure.
Absolutely. You could also see both of these guys are using hot saws supplied by STIHL here with the Forester bars. So those are the straight, flat bars. We'll see some guys will come up on stage with these bars that are a little bit thicker through the middle. I always think that maybe they cut a little bit nicer because you have less risk the chain coming off because the tension is there. But some guys disagree with me on that one, and you know, I'm not one to argue.
Oh my word, you can really feel the pressure now.
Yeah. All right, world record 4:28. Let's see how these guys go here.
30 seconds. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ho! Personal best for both of these guys. 6.82, 6.18. Great cuts on both sides. I love it. Woo!
That was a brilliant start. And not only you loving it, look at the crowd and look at the happy faces of our competitors.
Couldn't be more pleased with that. Absolutely fantastic.
Well done. Nice way to finish the competition with the best of the hot saw.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh my word.
Adrien Courteau had a quicker start into the block, but Elie Pagin, his first cut, he hovered a bit, got the cut, but his transitions were stellar. Barely any swing, right back into the cut, and then he gets back into this top cut beautifully next to the line. Just a fantastic run from Elie Pagin. And he cut a significant amount of time off of his personal best.
And that hot saw is a beast.
Yeah.
Once it hits the wood, it's, oh, wow.
And a 6.72 personal best for Adrien Courteau as well. Nicely done. Very, very nice cuts. All right, Loïc Voisin, I'm pretty sure he's got himself a time, but Pierre-Louis Poisson, a personal best 6.81. Loïc Voisin, it could be that he didn't complete the cut at his last competition, or he didn't make it into the final. Not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive he did have a personal best at one point in the hot saw.
Well, in any case, for the lead, he would need an 8.03, and Poisson a 6.72.
For the lead, but if he wants to win this thing, he's going to have a blister. You have to have under 6. You know, he has to be close to world record speed.
Absolutely, but for the moment to take over the lead, that would be the times that they need. Then, of course, our top two are still waiting for their heat, so it's probably better just to focus on getting getting the best time.
He didn't make it. He did what? Huh? What?
Okay, that is the loudest hot saw so far.
That's a Wankel motor. He didn't make it into the final last year. He did 7th place last year, so that's why we don't have a personal best for him. So this will be his first opportunity to really lock in a time. Obviously, he's got a beast of a saw there.
30 seconds.
Let's see if he can control the beast.
And you can see the difference in the bars between these two guys as well.
Tablets ready.
I'm really curious to know how Loïc does. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, it doesn't get much closer than this, does it?
Yeah, that was a good, clean cut by Loïc Voisin. That first cut down, he struggled on that one a little bit, took a little bit of time on the cut through, but he wanted to make sure he had good, clean cuts there. Looks like he's got 3 on the deck. Uh-oh. Do we have a problem here? I hope so, or I hope not, rather. But Loïc Voisin does have himself a personal best time in the books of 8.51. And Pierre-Louis Poisson with an 8.90.
Okay, both cuts are good.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah, and it's nice to see Loïc Voisin with a time in the books finally. So that's important for him after a 7th place last year. He didn't make the final. So this year that he's in the final 6 in his 2nd season as a pro, that's a great thing.
So Troy, I have a question for you. Even though we should be watching those slow motions, but Pierre Puberet is in the lead, still in the lead, even though he hasn't collected any points yet in the hot saw. So the only person he can be beat by is Alex Maurice. How would you tactically approach this encounter? Because Maurice is in 5th position at the moment before he goes into the hot saw.
Yeah.
That means he has to cut a good time to make it onto the podium to maybe become the national champion again. But Puberet, does it make sense to go out and play it easy, or oh wow? I don't.
The only way I see Alex Maurice winning this one is if he has the fastest time, and Pierre Puberet has a time lower than 4th place.
Yep. That's what I mean. You know, it's easy to land in 4th position because that's a time of 8.72 by Poisson. That's not you know, enough to be lazy.
Yeah, but 8.72 is
the time he needs to beat for sure. And for Alex, it's
somebody smarter than me has done the math in this situation here, and Pierre Puberet. I mean, if as far as I can see, if he gets fourth or below and Alex gets first, then Alex wins it. Man, those are loud. Holy moly.
One more final heat in La Championnat de France Sarrebourg here on the 3rd of August 2025. Who's going to take home the French crown?
Oh, both of these guys are so consistent. It's hard to say. I mean, it's like if ever there was a coin toss, this is a coin toss. This is it. Coin toss. This is it. You can see Alex lifting up that saw. You know, it weighs almost as much as he does. Well, let's see, folks.
Crunch time.
To quote John Wayne from back in the day, it's gonna be one of you buckaroos.
Athletes, ready.
Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that was a fantastic time, but Pierre Puy-Barré's got this one.
Wow.
He's going to win this one, and we've got a flag on the play, so we might see a DQ for Alex Maurice. So wait a minute.
No, I think we might see a DQ for Puy-Barré.
No, the flag is on the other side, but it's close to the line at the bottom.
No, but look at the reaction.
And he is disappointed. Oh my goodness, we might have a change of plan here altogether.
Maurice for sure was the fastest.
We have a flag on both sides, so here's where it gets interesting.
Oh my God. If the time stands, it's Puy-Barré winning by 1 point. just saying. If both cuts are good.
If both of these guys have DQs, then neither of them get points.
Then again, it's Puy-Barré.
Then it's Puy-Barré. Let's see.
I've done my maths, so. But this is crazy.
Oh my God, the tension here is mad.
I mean, it's super quiet now in the audience. They've been having a party all day long, and now everybody's just waiting for the decisions. But that looks clean to me.
Yeah, it's very, no, it's gone over the blue line at the bottom of the cut there for Maurice as well. And for...
they're going to take it...
They're going to take it off and look at it more closely.
So what if it touches the blue line but doesn't go over the blue line? Oh, my God, I don't want to be...
They can't pass the blue line. They have to leave the blue line complete, as far as I understand. And no, he's cut away the blue line. So Pierre Puy-Barré, does he have a DQ, or is there blue line enough there? Find out now.
I don't see one, to be honest.
Okay, both cuts are good.
Oh my goodness!
No way!
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I just about had a heart attack there. Jeez Louise.
Wow.
Holy smokes, folks. Pierre Puy-Barré gets it back. He's going to take the championship here in France, and it is going to be by one single point. Alex Maurice in second place with 70 points, and Loïc Vincent will be on the podium in third place in the bronze medal position with 51 points. What a final here. Unbelievable. Alex Maurice, though, he had a fantastic cut. Look at this. He was motoring through those cuts. Major switch to the third cookie, big angle. He was fast. He had the fastest time of the day. 6:05, a personal best for him. And there you can see the first cut for Puy-Barré, the second cut there coming up. And here on this third cut, he angles that saw really tight towards the inside. I've never actually seen them cut off the cookie or the line block and turn it over to look at it like that. They really wanted to make sure, because there was a lot riding on this decision.
So Maurice collecting 18 points, Courteau 15, and Puy-Barré 12. And very good to do so, because if he would have ended up in fourth, it would not been enough.
Yep, it would have been Alexander Maurice.
Is the final result. Puy-Barré by 1 single point, claiming the French Pro Championship 2025 for himself and regaining that French crown. Alex Maurice in second with, oh my word, a great competition. And then we have Loïc Vincent getting bronze. Brilliant stuff, super exciting, unbelievable. So once again, the final results for everyone with Pierre Puy-Barré, 71 points and winning the French Pro Championship 2025. Alex Meurice in second, just beaten by 1 single point. And Loic Vincent claiming bronze with 51 points. So congratulations to these 3 gentlemen. And how exciting was that competition till the very last second.
End. But, you know, we did see it from the very get-go at the underhand chop. An angry Pierre Puy-Barré is not to be trifled with.
No, and he was angry at the end again because he thought he might have cut that blue line.
Yeah.
Whew.
So, I mean, the only place where he really faltered was in the stock saw. The rest of the way through, he was super consistent, you know.
And funny enough, that was for both athletes on top. That was where they got the least points.
Yeah.
5 and 4.
Yeah, and again, the motor saw disciplines are not their strong disciplines. They thrive on the cutting and single saw disciplines, but the motor saw disciplines, you have to become proficient at these, especially that hot saw, knowing that you're going to make it into that final 6.
But
you've
Alex
got to be able to
actually did a great job. If you compare to the last 2 or 3 years, that was very, very good. So the award ceremony coming up in just a few moments. So we'd like everyone we'd invite everyone to stay to see that, because that's going to be another very special moment, I think, for all athletes. And we're going to try and get that cookie into the studio to take a closer look at that blue line that Pierre Puy-Barré didn't cut.
Aussi pour notre responsable STIHL TIMBERSPORTS qui ne veut pas monter sur la scène, mais qui œuvre chaque année pour que tout se passe bien. Chantal Renaud, qui est là-bas, Chantal Renaud, qui est notre tête pensante, accompagnée d'un joli Christophe, Laetitia, qui se sont démenés. Les chronométreurs, merci à vous, les chronos pour le tard, c'est vous qui vous êtes occupés de la partie visuelle. Les hommes de terrain, si j'ai bien compris, c'était des matchs chez Klein, Michel Olsinger. Les vacances, c'est vendredi soir, c'est ça? Ouais, il va falloir attendre, t'as vu? Je vais faire la vacances dans 5 minutes.
So we're almost ready for the winner's ceremony, and this young gentleman next to me is very excited. Why, Troy? Why?
Because we have the actual final cookie from the block of Pierre Puy-Barré here.
You're going to take this home?
Yeah. No, but you could barely see the blue line here. And as we move around this way, it disappears, then it comes back, then it disappears again, then it comes back, and it disappears again, and it comes back. So, I mean, it's hard to see on camera because we're not that close, but this is the winning cookie here for Pierre Puy-Barré. And, I mean, it is a monster. It is not light. So you've got a big piece of wood there that he got really close to cutting over the line, and that was the reason why they cut it off.
He was a bit angry at the end.
He was very angry at the end. He was throwing his equipment around on the floor, but that's the reason why they cut it off, so they could turn it over and look at it more closely. And we were lucky enough to have it brought into the studio, so we can officially see why the decision was made the way it was.
Just a few millimeters deciding on the national champion.
Literally.
World champion, world record holders.
Yeah, there you go. World record holder for the stock saw. Just as we bring up all our athletes, we're getting down to the last few. We already have Cyril Marchal, Quentin Deck, Florian Clos, Roger Géhan, the world record holder for that stock saw, Julien Maya. There is Corentin Gaudin, who had a great fan club in the audience here today. And now the top 6 that were in our hot saw final. Coming up onto the stage now is Adrien Courteau. And there we see, getting ready to come up onto the stage, our 5th place athlete, and he was very, very happy after his hot saw. It is Elie Pajan. Just missing the podium by a little bit, Pierre-Louis Poisson in 4th place. But a good showing by him today, Floaty.
Oh, definitely. And he had a great time. I was observing him, you know, when he went off stage and on stage. So he, of course, he's not going to be super happy not reaching 3rd position, but I think he can be very, very pleased with his performance, and he had a great day here. Keep
a close eye on him for next season as
sure.
well. All right, so now we have our top 3 in 3rd place. A huge roar from the audience. 3rd place in the bronze medal position, Loïc Voinson.
Well deserved, well deserved. Look at the camaraderie, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and after a 7th place from last year and not actually having a hot saw best time in the books, it's nice to see that now, and even better that he's got himself the bronze medal.
And how close was that competition?
Yeah.
What a competitor.
Last year's champion, this year's silver medalist, Alexandre Maurice. It was close. It was ever so close. Only a point.
Single point at the end of the day, 71 to 70. Impressive. He is a real competitor.
He is absolutely a real competitor. But speaking of real competitors, I'll tell you what. Pierre Poulibaré was disappointed last year. You know, I said, hey, you know, how do you feel about this? And he says, I am glad to see a Frenchman on the podium and going to compete, but I want it to be me. And this year, it is him. So he came back this year angry, and he battled all day long, and he was consistent throughout.
Awesome.
With one hiccup. Otherwise, it was nearly a perfect day for him.
And no man in France has ever won more titles than this gentleman. Pierre Poulibaré, the French champion 2025. Oh, finally that smile that we know from
twinkle.
Backstage.
Yeah, there's that twinkle.
Oh, that's some nice trophies. So I have a slight feeling that they might have a big celebration tonight.
I feel like you might be correct.
I don't know why. It's just
a feeling.
Yeah, just a feeling. Well done, guys. That was a great competition. That was super enjoyable.
Yeah. one of the most fun competitions that we've had in a long time. But I feel like this is kind of a theme that we're running through every time we have one of these competitions, because the skill level and the quality level has gone through the roof in all of the various nations that are competing.
Very true.
And so it is, it's an amazing thing to be able to participate in these competitions for the athletes, of course, but for us as well, because it just makes it all that much more fun to see these ultra close, really competitive competitions.
And we had everything. We had a new world record from a 58-year-old, and I'm sure he was just working on that one discipline and preparing for this moment, and crazy good.
Well, we knew that Roger was solid on the saw, and I mentioned that beforehand, and I patted myself on the shoulder for being prophetic after that one.
Beautiful scenes, absolutely beautiful scenes. And I guess you could say closer, STIHL Timbersports French Pro Championships. Yes. 1 point making the big difference at the end of the day.
One single point, great competition between these two guys. The trajectory was similar to last year, and they just switched positions this year. So absolutely fantastic job.
So many highlights for us. It's time to say goodbye. The crowd is going wild, and we've got the best pictures of the day for you. So
see you, everybody.
Hopefully see you soon.
Have a good one.